So, if you had a magic wand and you could make one thing happen to move the needle on this in the next 12 months, what would that be?
I think the topic that gives us the best chance is siting and permitting reform, which is a complete disaster right now. And that's predicated on the assumption that transmission, high voltage transmission, is going to be a major part of what allows us to take the next step from a
Hmm.
grid reliability and resilience standpoint. And I think it's really, really difficult to understand how any other way to get there. We cannot use historical practice as the model for how we address the challenges that we're walking into. The historical model is very simple, which is whatever the market dictates is going to show up from a generation standpoint specifically, then that's what we're going to build. It was easier to build generation for years. It was easier to be more cost competitive. It kept rates very, very low, which is an awesome thing. And now I think there just needs to be a clear understanding of how do we get a better understanding of how transmission supports this at scale, at the grid scale, and make sure that from the local level to the federal level, the siting and permitting reform reflects the need that exists right now to maintain a reliable grid and an economical.
So, you're not a fan of Soviet style RTOs that we have in this country? I mean, with
What?
I know. And every time I say that to somebody, they're like, that's not true. And I'm like, I want you to describe what the ISOs and RTOs are like in this country and the guaranteed monopolies that exist within them. They're like, yeah, they kind of are like Russian oligarchs. I'm like, yeah, yeah, they sure are.
It's a bizarre, I mean, it had so much utility at a time where when the wholesale energy markets were created in the 90s, it created an astounding amount of efficiency and had such positive effects on reliability. And it works under a certain set of circumstances. And the circumstances were pretty persistent in a good way for about 20 years. Like
Hmm.
they were running at kind of an optimal level. There was a lot of things, a lot of benefits that were harnessed as a result of it. But clinging to that and saying, well, the future is going to be more of the same, and saying, nah, we don't need to take a fresh look at how the markets are organized or how energy is priced or how these market systems are run or how the grid is operated itself or the infrastructure investment models that have existed up until this point. You have to take a holistic look because, you can't just do more of what we used to do and say like, I'm sure it'll all
I'm sure
work
it'll
out.
work out.
Yeah, it'll
What
be
could
fine.
possibly go wrong?
I can't think of anything.